What's up traders, welcome to Failure to Displace, and in this video we're going to take a look at the London session this morning on EURUSD, where we had this textbook breaker block setup bagging a potential 4R. Let's jump into the higher time frame analysis now and see how we came up with this setup. Here we are on our 15-minute time frame, where we can look at our session liquidity tracker indicator to see which levels of untapped liquidity are anywhere near us. The untapped levels of session liquidity are highlighted in green, and when those get tapped, they will turn to red. Links to the session liquidity tracker and other indicators that I use are in the description below, so do go and check those out if you're interested in following along. So we can see that we've got the Asia high above us, Asia low below us, just as we're coming into the start of our London trading window, which is at 1 AM. We've got the New York PM session as well. Yesterday, price action came down. We swept Tuesday's low. This was on a news release. Lots of news in the London session yesterday, so really untradeable in my opinion. We swept the low in the New York session and then pulled back aggressively into the range. Price has consolidated New York PM session, and we're still kind of consolidating here. So my eyes are basically looking at what's going to happen when we sweep any of these levels of liquidity. Given the fact that we're consolidating, I am going to be looking on the 1 minute time frame for a potential reversal trade on the 2022 mentorship as we sweep either the highs or the lows. We've got 15-minute fair value gaps just above us, so this is one thing worth noting. If we were to sweep the Asia high, we have a 15-minute fair value gap, and then likewise on the lows we have a untapped bullish fair value gap left over from the PM session. So these are kind of relative equal lows, so it would be a good draw on liquidity. So we could be potentially looking at sweeping liquidity and getting a reaction in these 15-minute fair value gaps. So let's now drop onto a lower time frame and begin the session. This is the first 5-minute candle of the London session now. And zoom in. You can see we are leaving bullish fair value gaps at the moment on the 5-minute time frame, which leads us to believe that possibly the Asia high will get taken. So I have gone straight in and taken the Asia high. Now that we've swept the Asia high, I'm going to mark this just so we can keep a reference of it as a potential failure to displace level. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the 15-minute fair value gap above us. We have swept the high. We're going to drop onto the 1 minute time frame now and see how price reacts now that we've swept the high. So for a 2022 model, our current break of structure would be this swing low. So for my entry, I would be looking at the swing low that creates the new high. So again, how we identify swing lows is we need a higher low to the left and a higher low to the right. The one in the middle is the lowest of the three, so this gives us our swing low. We are looking for the swing low that creates the new high as the break of structure. We've respected a 1 minute fair value gap here after sweeping the high. We've created another fair value gap here. This was also actually a balanced price range. So we had a bullish fair value gap coming up, bearish fair value gap down. Where the two overlap is a balanced price range. These are really strong areas for a reaction, and we did get a reaction here. We've now continued down. We've left another fair value gap. We've got another BPR here. We've left another fair value gap here, another bearish fair value gap. Okay, so price has moved away aggressively now. It's not pulled back into this fair value gap. We have broken structure. What I'm noticing, yes, we've got the fair value gaps. We've now got this breaker block. So this last down closed candle that led to the new high is our breaker block. So I will highlight that. Within this break, we've also got a volume imbalance in this area here. So price is obviously very aggressively moving away, and we've got the fair value gap just above the breaker as well. So you'll know from previous videos, and you've possibly seen it online, if you have fair value gaps within a breaker, I believe this is classed as the unicorn entry. So we do have a valid unicorn entry there, and we've also got a volume imbalance, which I generally treat volume imbalance as the same as I treat fair value gaps. So we have a volume imbalance here, so again, potential unicorn entry. So my expectation is that this breaker block should hold price lower. Now, because we've got fair value gaps all the way up here, I'm going to need to place my stop loss above this high. It'd be nice to get a tighter stop loss, but we do have inefficiencies higher, so price may come back to fill these inefficiencies before continuing lower. So I'm going to take the entry if we tap the breaker block. My first target will be these swing lows here. So we've got relative equal lows here. So it's similar to yesterday's video that I released. This is sell side, sorry. So yeah, my first target is going to be this sell side liquidity here. Similar to yesterday's video that I released, we're seeing this ramped volume. So this isn't a trend line that I'm drawing here, but it's just to illustrate. You can see that price is just continuously pumping higher without any real pullbacks. When I'm seeing this ramped volume, this always feels like they're pulling buyers higher, and then they're creating or engineering liquidity. So when price does eventually break, there's very little resistance here for it to slow it down. So we should get a fast reaction at least to this level here. So this would be my first take profit area. And then, as we mentioned in the earlier analysis, we have relative equal lows for the Asia low, untapped session liquidity. We do also have the New York PM session low here going into a 15-minute fair value gap. So TP1 will be here, TP2 will be here, and then you could potentially hold fall lower down into this 15-minute fair value gap for a lovely 4-hour trade. Let's just see if we get tagged at this point. We've left the fair value gap just below the breaker block. Come back, we've tapped the breaker block. So we are now officially in the trade. Pulling away nicely. So we've left fair value gaps here. Nice reaction. Okay, so we'll come back. So we're just into the new hour. So this is where we expect volume to come in. So the volume has pumped in 1, 2, 3 candles back into the entry. Tapped the volume imbalance again perfectly. Consolidating. Good reaction at just starting the new 15-minute candle. So 2:13. So we basically had 15 minutes of consolidation here. 2:13, we're getting some volume, so this is coming into the start of the next 15-minute candle. 2:14, 2:15, and we're away into the new candle now. Nice injection of volume. Come down, hit our TP1. So there's take profit 1 hit. Again, leaving bearish fair value gaps. So this is giving good confluence that we should be going lower here. It's really strong price action. I'm going to mark our sell side here so we can keep an eye on it. And likewise the New York PM session low. Sell side so we can see those as price is approaching them. Smashed TP2, so that's perfect. And then we're going to be looking to see what we can get as we take out the New York PM session low. Again, solid price action, so it's not like we're running out of steam here. We are displacing towards these levels of liquidity, so quite confident the price will go lower. Targeting a nice 4R. Standard pullbacks, we've taken a swing high. And then we're coming back down again, fueling a move lower. And there's our 4-hour trade. So we've tapped that for a fantastic 4-hour. Really kind of stress-free. We never came back into any drawdown, so the breaker block did hold us really nicely. Normally you would like to set your stop loss just above the breaker block, expecting the breaker block to hold. Could have been a potential 10-hour trade if you were really aggressive with your stop loss, expecting the breaker block to hold. However, I was a bit more conservative, given the fact that we did have fair value gaps above which potentially could have got filled. So 4-hour for myself. Others may have potentially got a 10-hour there. So really nice trade. And that was the trade in the London session. So I really hope you found the analysis useful. If you did, please drop the video a thumbs up and consider sharing it to others as well. It would really help the channel grow, and I would really appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below and I will do my best to help out where I can. If you're enjoying this kind of content and want to see more analysis like this, then consider subscribing. I'm dropping videos more or less daily with this kind of content. It'd be fantastic to have you on board. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.